3-song EPs and stuff and singles, but yeah, second real record that I put out.
The Game, released on Friday the 13th, already available on all streaming platforms. Let's get into the brunt of it, man. You're a musician, I'm a musician. We just went through the pandemic. We're still sort of going through that, and it obviously affected things, but for musicians, it took away a lot of our work, but it also opened up a lot of time that a lot of us didn't have. You did a lot of work on this record over the pandemic. It sort of came about throughout that downtime that you had?
Well, I had already decided to make an EP before the pandemic hit. But then once the pandemic hit and I had so much more time to like work at home in the home studio and try out ideas and different new sounds, you know, like I got really into like synthesizers and programming drums and stuff. Like it kind of took on a different form, and then I ended up only keeping one song that I had written before COVID, and the other 4 songs I wrote during the pandemic, just at home all day long in front of the laptop, trying out sounds, messing with the keyboard, you know.
Some of that downtime could be, I guess, a blessing in disguise, so to speak. Now, your new record is out on the streets right now, but you haven't officially had a CD release party. That's happening this weekend, is that correct?
This Thursday night.
Thursday night goes down at 6:30 p.m. at Dram and Morsel downtown, and you're doing some good. As also releasing great music, which is already good, but you're doing some good for our community. Share us a little bit more about the CD release. Let folks know what they can get involved in, Dave.
Absolutely, man. So I've teamed up with Nourish NC, which is a local charity that feeds hungry kids in New Hanover County. And I know them through the Wilmington Wine and Food Festival, which my wife was the president of, and I performed at it a couple years in a row. And then we teamed up for another event, and so they were just kind of on my radar. And I thought, hey, like, why don't we team up with a local charity, give a couple bucks per cover charge to feeding hungry kids. And then we have another sponsor that is Wine Water. That's a Wilmington-based company that is sparkling wine and water in these little cans. It's really refreshing and delicious. And so
sounds dangerous.
Yeah, yeah, we're giving away one of those as well as a hard copy of the CD. So you pay the cover, which is $15, but then you get a copy of the CD. You get your first drink for free, and $2 of those dollars goes to Nourish NC.
It sounds like more than a fair deal for a fantastic record. I've been digging through the tracks that you've sent me over the past few months. Excited to have my own physical copy of the game available right now. Folks, I tell you what, we got so much talent in the Port City. We've got David Dixon in the studio with us right now. David, if you've not caught him live, you'll have a chance to do that this Thursday down at Dram and Morsel for the CD release party of his new record, The Game. But you can catch him right now, Dave. I know you want to play a couple tunes. I want to hear you play. I love your guitar playing, love your writing, love your vocals. What you got for us first up, man?
Thanks, man. Well, so the first song I was going to play is called Better With You By My Side. And it came out as a single, but for the actual EP version, I added a horn section, which was kind of a crazy story. Just briefly, what happened was my mixing engineer, who is I collaborate with in Pennsylvania, I just mentioned to him that I thought horns would sound cool in this song, kind of like an old school Van Morrison type of vibe. And he was like, I have the perfect guy. This guy, Corey Riker, that plays with John Legend when he tours the East Coast. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to afford that guy. So I shot him an email just on a whim. And he hit me back and was like, these are my rates. I can do it real quick, turnaround time. He was like, I can do the sax parts, and I'll outsource the trumpet to a buddy. And literally, I mean, it was a couple of tweaks and a few email exchanges, and then I had my horn section. So this is a more stripped down version of it, obviously, but it was kind of a cool story to be like, I got John Legend's horn guy to, you know.
I think it's a very cool story and a very cool experience to have John Legend's horns on there. And we've got that version of it in our system here, so folks will be hearing that horn version, stripped down version right now. Dave, you know, I've always been an acoustic guy, so I love hearing you just at bare bones. This is a tune though written for your lovely wife.
I wrote this. This was out of all 5 of the EP songs, this was the only one that sort of came out all at once. Like I wrote this in like 1 or 2 sittings, and then there was a lot of tweaking after the fact. But all the other songs I had to really mine for and grind them out. This one just kind of flowed. So you know, when you're getting that inspiration, you just go with it.
Amen, brother. Let's hear it, man. David Dixon live, Penguin Studios.
I'm not the best at keeping plans. I'm scatterbrained with calloused hands. You always seem to understand, and I'm better with you by my side. I found a new hard to buy. I brought it home, you rolled your eyes. Deep down I know that you don't mind, and I'm better with you by my side. 'Cause when you give me the light, I feel it shine. Pull me from darkness when I found you. Now the words that I write, they're all falling in line, the way I've fallen for you. I said I'd write a song for you, I wouldn't mention your tattoo. I don't know just what I'd do if I didn't have you by my side. Now I live in the light of your eyes, I can never let it go. And every time that you say goodbye, I miss you more than you'll ever know. 'Cause when you give me the light, I feel it shine. Pull me from darkness when I found you. Now the words that I write, they're all falling in line, the way I've fallen for you. I'm not the best at keeping plans, I'm scatterbrained with calloused hands, but I will always be your man, 'cause I'm better with you by my side. Yeah, I will always be your man, 'cause I'm better with you by my side. I'm better with you by my side.
Get much better than that, Mr. David Dixon, live in the Penguin Studios. Better With You by My Side, off his new EP, The Game, which is out on the streets right now. David's celebrating the release and got a release party this Thursday, the 19th, at Dram and Morsel. I was just looking at your lovely wife, Lauren, as she had a big smile on her face while you were performing that song. You had mentioned about Mr. John Legend. You had got linked up with this horn player, but you also had some other folks from across the country playing drums.
Across the world, really, yeah.
Across the world, I meant to say, but playing drums on the song, on the record, is that
Yes,
right?
so 2 of the songs have live drums, and 3 of the songs are more like programmed, like beat making type of tracks. That I got really into that, and like MIDI. I played some real bass on the record, and I did some MIDI bass on keyboard too, just because it sounded really cool. But the mixing engineer played drums himself, so he played drums on this song. But then the song that you led in the interview with, All I Can Give, the more kind of singer-songwriting song, I told my mixing engineer that I was listening to a bunch of Casey Musgraves and John Mayer at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this real like reverby, kind of swirly, spacey sound that I was just really digging on. I was like, man, I really want that sound for this song. And I mentioned that to my buddy Carl, and he said, hey man, I have this drummer, he lives in Argentina, we collab all the time, and like his drums are already set up, ready to track, so you don't have to go in the studio. You've been in the studio before and had like 4 hours of them trying to get the right drum sounds, and it just takes up so much time and money. And I was like, well, this dude can just do it, you know, it's already set up and mic'd and everything. And so this guy, Tomas Shannon in Argentina, like same thing, we just emailed back and forth a couple times. He sent me a rough pass and was like, you want me to change anything? And I was like, yeah, change this one fill, kick the beat in a little bit more right here on the first, you know, on the second verse. And then he sent me a final draft, and I approved it, and we were good to go. It was like so smooth, and I just didn't expect it to go that way.
It's amazing how technology allows us to do that type of thing too. Like you said, I mean, back in the day it was go to the studio, bring your drums, set them up. Now it's literally like, you send me your track.
Exactly.
I'll play drums to it, and I'll email the file back to you. Well, the record is fantastic. He's releasing it officially, physical copies of it, on the 19th down there at Dram and Morsel, 6:30 p.m. Again, David Dixon got a big heart, not only a talented man, but a kind person, So again, your cover charge down there gets you a physical copy of the new CD, gets you your free drink, and then also gets you $2 of that goes to Nourish NC. So you're being able to do some good for our community. I know folks love hearing you sing and play. I do, David. You feel like cutting us another one out? Would be great.
For sure, man. So this next song is one that I released as a single, and it's called "Across the Room." And this seems to be so far the best, the most well-received song that I've put out. So it's kind of more of on the like pop side. It's got like drum tracks, and I really like the way it turned out. But this is going to be more stripped down, kind of acoustic version of it.
Let's hear it, brother.
Shades of green from her eyes, a kind I've never seen, and all I want is them to notice me. A vision's too hard to ignore. Following every move I make, she's on to me, and all at once I feel her energy, and nothing like I felt before. Lonely, but she's playing it cool. I'm all in, and I'm willing to lose. Strangers, we got nothing to prove, and I can feel it from across the room. I can feel it from across the room. Just an ordinary afternoon that could lead us to a perfect night. I can't explain, I know it's right. I can feel it from across the room, but the moment could be over soon. So the only thing that's on my mind is she believe in love at first sight. Because I just might. I feel just like a dream, coming in and out of focus. Yeah, if I'm asleep, this is where I wanna stay. Lonely, but she's playing it cool. I'm all in, and I'm willing to lose. Fire, now we're adding the fuel, and I can feel it from across the room. I can feel it from across the room. Just an ordinary afternoon that could lead us to a perfect night. I can't explain, I know it's right. I can feel it from across the room, but the moment could be over soon. So the only thing that's on my mind is she believe in love at first sight. It's like she's asking with her eyes, what are we waiting for? We'll never know unless we try, and it's now or never. Guess I'm gonna roll the dice. Playing it cool. I'm all in, and I'm willing to lose. Fire, now we're adding the fuel, and I can feel it from across the room. I can feel it from across the room. Just an ordinary afternoon that could lead us to a perfect night. I can't explain, I know it's right. I can feel it from across the room, but the moment could be over soon. So the only thing that's on my mind is she believe in love at first sight. Yeah, because I just might.
Live here in the Igloo, Mr. David Dixon, Wilmington, North Carolina's own fantastic guitar player with a little acoustic version, stripped down, some would say, of Across the Room off his new EP, The Game. Before you played that, Dave, you had mentioned just briefly, you said it seemed to be one that was maybe the most well-received or best received so far. And I was thinking how subjective music is. It's just so different. Everybody's ears are going to hear things different. I'm going to have my personal favorites on this record. Lauren's going to have her personal favorites. Kristen is going to have her personal favorites. What's your top track, man? You got a personal favorite off your new record?
Man, I have two that I think came out like just money, like the way I really
The way that you
yeah,
wanted them to sound.
the way I wanted them to sound, and that is the title track, the game,
Mm-hmm.
and then Back and Forth is the track 4. That's the first single that came out.
Yep.
And that's the first one that's the song that I took like a long guitar solo on, and like kind of got to dig into that side of things. And it was also the first time I ever recorded a song that had programmed drums. I stacked the bass, did a bunch of guitar. Actually, that's the one song that I tracked some in at Hourglass Studio with Trent over there here locally in Wilmington. We did some guitar parts there, and then I finished it off with my mixing engineer, just emailing files back and forth. But yeah, Back and Forth and the game were those are the ones I liked the best.
Well, I don't want to speak for all artists in the world because we've never had the experience of really going into a studio and having all the time and money. It's
Right.
just to do whatever we want to do. It's artists at our levels, and you mentioned it before. I was able to use some electronic drums because it cost effective. It's able to be so it's neat to have you be able to go in there and come out with a product and say that is exactly what I wanted it to sound like. Because as an artist, you and I both know, man, we worked really hard on these records, and then we go back and listen to them 6 months later, and you're like, oh, why did I leave that part of it?
There's
right
always
there?
going to be some of that. But it's funny that you say that, man, because talking about getting the sound that you want exactly, I got really OCD with this, which is songs off of Abbey Road. And I just like could not tweak the synth right to where I got it. And I spent 2 weeks just pressing buttons on a keyboard and tweaking knobs and stuff. And I'm sure Lauren was about to lose her mind, but like ultimately finally got it. And like if I was paying for studio time, that never would have happened that way. You would have been like, you're settling on this now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, to have that freedom and to be able to do it at your own time and your own pace and really get it down the way you want.
Yep.
A huge congratulations, Dave. I could sit here and sing your praises as a musician, as a person all day long. I want to remind all the folks out there, it's going down Thursday night at Dram and Morsel. August 19th is the date, 6:30 p.m. Mr. David Dixon will be having a CD release party for the new record, The Game. Again, the ticket price includes a free CD or a copy of the physical CD, your first drink for free, and then $2 of that goes to donated to Nourish NC. So I don't see any other better thing for you to get involved into on a Thursday night. Go down there and see David Dixon. Before we get out of here, Dave, you brought an extra copy of the record. If there's anybody out there that wants to get a copy of this record, let's do a little giveaway.
Yeah,
What
let's
do you
do
think?
that. And
So-
if we got a few more seconds, I have a Facebook giveaway that I have not announced the winner of yet. I was just gonna get you to draw a name out of this hat. Can you do that?
Yeah, well, I'll draw the name right now. And I need you to pick a number between 1 and 10, though.
7.
Caller number 7 at 332-0983. Caller number 7, 332-0983 takes home a copy of David Dixon's new record. Phone's already ringing. That's good news. And then, can I say this?
Yeah.
But I hope I'm pronouncing the last name right, but it's Kathy Ipock.
Kathy Ipock, yeah.
Will be taking
in
home.
Greenville, North Carolina.
Oh yeah, great.
I know
Right
she
on.
is.
Awesome. Well, she'll be taking home a copy of The Game.